Alright, so, once again, like most stories, like most movie review stories begin, I was consuming marijuana products, and I watched The World's End. It's a movie, it's a motion picture. There's a picture, there's a series of pictures, actually. I believe, there's 24 pictures per second, and they move, right? So it's a motion picture, and it is the final movie in the so-called Cornetto trilogy, and this one was my favorite of the bunch. I think it's really funny. So going into this movie, I really never watched any of these movies before, so I didn't really know what to expect. But this movie was just really good. I mean, it was just like, so the movie opens up, and I enjoy, one of my favorite parts about this movie is that I enjoy how the characters of that Nick Frost and Simon Pegg play, usually Simon is the more uptight asshole or arsehole character, but they reverse, and in this one, Simon is like the laid back, loser goofball, and then Nick Frost character is like the uptight arsehole. Anyway, so this movie, it starts out oh, you got like a high school buddies, and we're all going drinking, and they're trying to do like this pub crawl, hit all of them in the town, like there's 12, right? And the title, The World's End, is like the last one in the crawl, but they failed because they're a bunch of stupid fucking kids, right? And then like 30 years go by, 20 years, who knows? And they're trying to get the gang back together because Simon Pegg's character tried to kill himself, and he's like a depressed, suicidal, he wants to die. And he's trying his best. But he's like, you know what, before I kill myself, I'm gonna go out with a bang and try to get the old crew together. And so anyway, the movie is like them just being awkward, like they all haven't seen each other in so long, they hate each other, right? They're arguing about shit that happened when they were young. There's like a mysterious accident that happened that broke the friend group. Who knows what's going on there? Anyway, I thought it was great. I also thought when they went to the pubs and they were all updated, and like the first two or whatever in the crawl were the same. I think it was actually the same set, but it was they're trying to modernize or something, and it was so funny. I was losing it, right? But then it's in their hometown that they haven't been to, so they notice a couple people they haven't seen since high school or whatever, and they're acting weird, they're acting strange. This is some strange fellas, right? So they're continuing the pub crawl, right? And then eventually Simon goes into the bathroom. His Gary King, played by Simon Pegg, goes into the bathroom, and for whatever reason, because he's a loser, he gets into an argument with a teenager. This is 40-year-old man who gets into an argument with a teenager. What the hell? That's a little strange. But also, he tried to kill himself, so all of his marbles aren't there. And I say this as someone who is a suicide attempt survivor, so I'm allowed to say that. But anyway, and eventually he starts beating up this fucking teenager. What the fuck? Whoa! Chill the fuck out, bro! Right? You know what I mean? But anyway, then all of a sudden this teenager's head pops off, and it's it's a Lego piece. And then that's similar to Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead. That's when the movie breaks open, right? So you think this is a movie about washed up has-beens just trying to have one good night out together again, before someone kills himself. And then nope, it's The World's End. That's what I love about this movie. In the title you'd think it's referencing the pub and the pub crawl or whatever, but it's not. It's actually referencing that an alien invasion, and they're taking the whole planet. It's just a great movie. I mean, so then that point onward, they realize that there's a classic kill and replace going on, right? A They Live scenario, which I also saw recently. And so then but they want to finish the pub crawl anyway, so they keep going from pub to pub while trying to learn more about these Lego robot creatures. Well, my favorite part of this is that when they argue about what to call them, and the joke just keeps going on, right? Are they robots? And then the robots get offended by being called robots, and then eventually they call them blanks because they couldn't come up with a name. So it's just great. I mean, what a good movie. I mean, this movie was hilarious. I literally was just laughing so much. It was so funny. Like all like the jokes like landed really well, right? Like there's a lot of like there's like a lot of like foreshadowing in the beginning, and like it's just really fun like when the movie is like, you know, like an hour 40 minutes in, and then it's like, oh, that's like a reference to like the very beginning of the movie. So you gotta, these are movies, like all three of these are the movies that you gotta like pay attention to. There's a lot of like subtleties to them, which I enjoy. I love that, especially in a comedy movie. Comedy movies don't do that often, so I'm super into it. But it's just such a good movie. So eventually, you know, the gang, some of them end up dying along the way, and you know, it's just like, I love the scene with the giant like statue like chasing the motherfuckers. That was great. I mean, and then so anyway, so they get to the world's end, the last pub in the crawl, and then it's the secret alien base, right? And then so Gary King basically just says like, humans, we just want to do whatever we want. And we don't want to listen to your stupid bullshit. And then the aliens are just like, all right, convincing argument. So then the aliens fuck off, but because they fuck off, it causes like the whole world to explode because they had, you know, the aliens basically like take credit for like cell phones and stuff. Anyway, it's just so good. It's just such a good movie. So then the aliens fuck off and the world like explodes and like there's no more electricity. And that's the other thing with the world's end, right? So it means so many different things. But anyway, so then, you know, Simon Pegg's character chooses not to kill himself and everyone's living their best life in like a Fallout universe. It was a great movie. I mean, probably my favorite of the three Cornettos. But it's so good. It really is really funny. It's just really funny. I also love how like throughout the movie the characters get progressively drunker and drunker. I don't know if they actually got drunk on set or filming. I know most of the time when people do movies they don't like to drink on set, but also sometimes people get like that really artsy, so they feel like, you know, we have to. But either way, the acting was really good. I loved how like sweaty the characters were getting because they were drunk and they were like running, so they were getting like really sweaty and gross. And it's just like it was a really good one. So they did a good job, and I enjoyed it. This is a good film. Watch all three of them. Watch them in order. Watch them in a row if you want. And I recommend it. These are some bangers. I don't know what to tell you, right? Like, oops, all bangers, right? I'm in. Sign me up. Because I'm in.